647, welcome back to the Valley Today, taking a live look at New York City. This is where President Barack Obama will be meeting with Cuban President Raul Castro to talk about economic relations between the newly united countries. It's the second big meeting in 2 days. The first was with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. It's all part of the UN General Assembly going on in New York City this week.
Hi again and good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with the Valley Today. It's now 12 minutes before 7 o'clock. I'm Lisa Bedeau here with Kyle Bosch. We're starting your nonstop news and weather all the way to the top of the hour to help you plan your day. The rash of armed robberies in Fargo continues. 2 more happened last night, just about an hour apart. The first happened around 8:30 at the Bottle Barn on South University. Investigators say a man walked in and showed a handgun inside the waistband of his pants and then stole a small amount of money. Police say he drove away in a gray Toyota Corolla.
The second robbery happened just about an hour later. This was at the Spirit Shop on 13th Avenue, just east of Cashwise Foods. Several employees were inside that store when a man walked in with a mask and demanded money at the counter. Now, he did not show a weapon, but police believe that he did have one. He also fled that scene in a car, and police believe that both of last night's robberies are connected. They aren't, however, sure yet if it's tied to all of the recent holdups.
Is it too early to say that these 2 tonight are related to any of the ones prior? Yes. We haven't made that determination, and we want to make sure we don't jump to that conclusion too quickly because there isn't enough similarities at first blush to say that. Ultimately, we want to make sure we solve them all, but again, it's just part of that process that we need to go through.
Now, nobody was hurt in either of the holdups. Police do say they plan to use surveillance footage from both stores to try and narrow their search for a suspect.
Now, the suspect in both of last night's robberies is described as a black man, 5'9", with a thin build. He was wearing a dark hoodie and a mask. If you have any information, call Fargo Police.
Charges are expected to be filed today after a stolen car turned into a police chase and shooting early yesterday morning near Walmart in South Fargo. We have exclusive video for you that shows the car pulling into the Pizza Hut parking lot. A short time later, you see the police car. Now, that's where a man and woman got out of the car and ran away.
Investigators say the man then pointed a gun at Fargo police officer Patrick Thomas, and Thomas shot the man. Police later discovered the gun was a BB gun that looked like a real weapon. The man who was shot was taken to Essentia. No word on his condition. The woman in the car who ran away, Jennifer Stegman from Thompson, North Dakota, was arrested and taken to the Cass County Jail. The North Dakota BCI is leading the investigation into what happened.
An autopsy has revealed that the man involved in a chase and standoff near Fergus Falls died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators say it all started when 52-year-old Richard Blondow of Fergus Falls shot at his wife as she was driving on I-94 on Sunday.
Police used a helicopter with night vision to track him to a farm field west of Fergus. The officers ordered him to put his shotgun down, but instead he pointed it at them. The officers fired, but Blondow, investigators actually say he died from shooting himself.
Now, 4 officers, one of them, the Fergus Falls police chief, are all on leave following the shooting. That is standard procedure in cases like this. The Minnesota BCA is leading that investigation.
It's now 6:51. Time for weather and traffic on the ones, and we start with meteorologist Lisa Green on a cold start to our Tuesday morning.
Good morning. Bundle up as you get ready to head out the door, especially if you're going to be spending any time outside, maybe sending the kids out to wait for the bus at the bus stop. They'll want to be bundled up to stay on the warm side here. We've got freezing conditions in the Northern Valley. That's where that freeze warning is in effect. Frost advisory in effect for the Southern Valley. All of us under some cool weather, but certainly up north, that's where we're dealing with the coldest temperatures. 30 degrees in Thief River Falls, Hallock at 30. It's below freezing in Grand Forks as well at 31. Candu and Langdon are at 28 degrees. Over toward Thief River Falls, 30 degrees, and 28 in Bemidji and in Fosston this morning. And that, if you left your plants out overnight, that might be just enough. We've been in those low numbers for some time to kill off some of those plants, unfortunately. 37 degrees in Fargo, 41 in Detroit Lakes. It's 35 in Park Rapids, and over toward Jamestown, also at 35 degrees. So a little bit warmer, but we may be seeing some patchy frost in the Southern Valley as well. So as we look ahead to the bus stop forecast today, remember, you're going to need that jacket this morning. Temperatures are going to be in those 30s around that 7 o'clock hour coming up up here in just a bit. With lots of sunshine, though, the sun's coming up, but it got another beautiful sunrise and some light wind to start. Temperatures are going to rise back into the 60s this afternoon, mid-60s. So should be a really nice fall day for us today, with sunshine sticking around for much of it. Perhaps a few more clouds late tonight, and that will hopefully help us to keep from bottoming out tomorrow morning again. So next couple of days, mid-60s for highs. Wednesday, there is a chance for seeing some scattered rain showers tomorrow evening and into the early part of the day on Thursday with some early sprinkles, but otherwise looking pretty good the next 7 days. Nice, quiet, and dry, and the weekend looks good too. 69 degrees Saturday, 64 Sunday. No more 80s to show you here, but really nice fall weekend ahead. Let's check in now with Al for an update on traffic.
I am westbound on Interstate 94 this morning, and let me tell you something. The traffic is really, really thick out here. Holy smokes. Very, very busy. Eastbound I-94, pretty busy as well, and there's a heck of a lot of work going on out here. Basically, you lose a lane eastbound on I-94 from just east of the west of the tri-level all the way over to the Red River Bridge. Crews are out there with a sweeping operation going on, so make sure you're mindful of that. That stalled car that we had on westbound Interstate 94, we told you about right at the tri-level here a little earlier this morning. I saw it on the back of a hook, so it's out of the way and onto a repair shop. But things are very, very busy out here on I-94. I-29 too. Drive extra carefully today. Make sure you're looking out for these crews out working in these work zones. Willamette Valley today traffic.
It's now 6 minutes before 7. Dozens of people from Kindred gathered at a prayer vigil last night for the bus driver who had both of her legs amputated after an accident involving 4 semis last Friday.
Family and friends say Kathy Jostad put her life on the line to protect the more than 20 children on that bus. Now, we had a chance last night to talk with Kathy's daughter as the community rallied behind her mom.
She's a strong lady. She's got a good heart. She's always shown that in how she treats others, and now she's using that strength for herself.
Jostad's Caring Bridge page adds that she is still receiving blood transfusions.
Grand Forks police say they're still looking for a Sunday morning robber. A man claims he was approached by another man who suddenly punched him several times. The man who was punched later noticed his wallet missing.
The robber is described as a dark-skinned black male, about 22 to 24 years old, about 5'6", 150 pounds, with shoulder-length dreadlocks. If you have any information, call Grand Forks Police.
North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Drew Wrigley now says he will not be running for governor next year. You might remember Wrigley recently admitted to having an affair with a woman in Bismarck.
In a written statement, Wrigley says he and his wife, quote, have concluded that the onset of a campaign is not consistent with the current needs of our family. Now, you can read his full statement. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
A North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation agent is facing misdemeanor charges for confiscating a payloader from a Forbes, North Dakota man and giving it to a trucking company. Arnie Rummel is also charged with misapplication of entrusted property and refusing to perform a duty as a public servant. His first court date is set for November 19th.
Governor Jack Dalrymple has appointed a cybersecurity task force to address possible cyber threats to state government. The task force will be staffed by 15 people, including IT experts from various state agencies. Dalrymple says the task force will review current policies and make recommendations on how to better secure the state's infrastructure.
Well, you want to grab your coworkers and head over to Roars today for a chance to taste more than 50 chilies and give back to the community.
Yeah, you can do it all today at the Roars Chili Feed. They're all set up and ready to go, and that's where we find the Valley Today's Christy Larson live from South Fargo with more. Okay, probably not all 50 chilies are there, but at least a few you've been able to sample this morning.
You know, I have, and unfortunately one little fly found its way in here too, and he's looking to eat some of that chili, but we'll get him out of here. Again, this event starts at 11:30, and Brianne Hoffman, let's talk again about why people should come out here.
Well, it's a great benefit for the United Way of Cass Clay. It's a free will donation open to the public. Again, 11:30 to 2 today. We hope you come out, enjoy yourself, have some good conversation, some good chili. It's a great day for it. Little wind, great temperature to enjoy some chili. So we hope you come out and join us.
And last year, over $30,000 raised. And Christina, they have a goal of $33,000 this year. What does that mean for you guys?
We are always just blown away by Roars. And you think about our school supply drive that just wrapped up. Really, the more money that they can raise at the chili feed today, the more kids that we can help next fall with school supplies. So it's a win-win for everybody.
And we did get to taste 2 of the 50 chilies. And I said, I think I know where my bean's going. And then you reminded me, Christy, you still have 48 more chilies to try.
Exactly. And there are 2 contests going on today. So make sure when you come that you get your chili bean, cast your vote for the People's Choice Award. We also have a VIP judging that's going on from some of our sponsors are going to be judging that competition. So 2 different chili competitions going on. Come out and support those people that are donating the chilies in the contest today too. So.
And not only chili, but you guys have saltine crackers, oyster crackers, you have some chips, and then I didn't mention this yet, or I don't know if I did, hundreds of types of desserts. So Kyle and Lisa, not only will they have all of that and cornbread, but I think you should even just come for the desserts again. It's going to help United Way of Cass Clay, 11 o'clock, or 11:30, excuse me, 11:30 until 2, and it's going to be behind in that Rohr's warehouse. So just come on over here, bring your free will donation, bring your coworkers, and help support this great local cause.
I'm so hungry right now. This always happens when she talks about food all morning. My stomach's just growling.
Especially chilly on a day like today. Like 80 degrees, not good chilly weather. Like 45 to 60 degrees.
Perfect.
Perfect chilly weather.
Christy Larson reporting live for us. Thank you, Christy. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 1 in 8 Americans will do what today?
The answer, eat a slice of pizza. Oh, I do that a lot of days. If you want to take part, I love pizza so much. If you want to take part in our question of the morning, all you have to do is head to our Valley News Live Facebook page, where we, of course, invite you to join the conversation all day long. Well, we talked about that chilly weather, and it's not just for eating. I mean, it's chilly out there this morning.
Chilly outside. So, yeah, eating chili will help you out. It's National Coffee Day. Drinking a hot cup of coffee will help you out. You'll need it. As well as your jacket, because we've got a freeze warning in effect in the Northern Valley, frost advisory in the Southern Valley until 8 a.m. Looking at our temperatures up to the north, 27 now in Langdon, 28 in Bemidji. A lot of sub-freezing temperatures along Highway 2 and north of there. So make sure you're prepared as you step out the door, and make sure your kids are prepared too. Morning recess will be on the cool side. Fargo's at 36 currently and 34 in Jamestown. Looking at our planner for today, we've got a beautiful sunrise in progress, and we'll enjoy lots of sunshine today as well, with temperatures rising eventually into the mid-60s. So we'll turn out to have a really nice day. It's just going to be cool to start.
Thanks for waking up with the Valley today. More local news and weather for you right here in just 25 minutes.
Have a great Tuesday, everybody. We will see you tomorrow morning.